Welcome to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. Thank you for tuning in this episode of The Real, taking time out of your day to come watch this episode. I really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe for me. I'd really appreciate that as well. That's the best way you can support this channel and help me grow my content and grow this channel to where I'd like it to be. Everybody hit the like button for me on the way in on this video today. That also helps promote this video more in the algorithms, helps grow this channel more as well. Please share this content. I would really appreciate that. My guests would as well. If you would please share this episode with someone you know that maybe is interested in the topic we're talking about today. Please leave a comment below as well. We'd love to hear your guys' feedback. You can interact with myself and the guest on the panel and the live chat as well. Whatever we're talking about, just leave a comment there in the live chat. Pop in and say hello. We'll put it on the screen for you. And yeah, without further ado, let's get to the show. Welcome back to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. You guys having a great Tuesday evening. Welcome into The Real. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, and share. Like I said, hope you guys are staying warm and cozy night. It's been a very cold week and tons of snow here in Northeast Ohio. So I've been staying indoors and still going out, but I'm not outside like I usually am. So good thing we got a gym nearby. But anyways, hope you guys are having a great week. Welcome into The Real. So yeah, I mean, last time I was on here Sunday night, I said it looked like it was leaning Nate Scheelhasse, right? Scheelhasse, excuse me, Scheelhasse. Looked like it was Nate, leaning towards, Nate. And then all of a sudden yesterday, it seemed like it was starting to swing back towards Jim Schwartz. I even texted some people, just kind of how I felt about it, stuff I was hearing, even just, doing my investigative work and looking out there. It seemed like Jim Schwartz was going to be the guy. And quite honestly, I felt like this morning when I woke up, it was going to be announced Jim Schwartz was the head coach. But that didn't happen. And, if you look at the prediction market on Kalshi, I believe it's called, Kalshi, Jim Schwartz was up for a while. He had a big lead. Then it started to narrow down to him and Nate Scheelhasse. And then now it's Nate Scheelhasse in the lead over Schwartz. And now Scheelhasse has a lead, but it's Todd Monken up at second place. So this thing's all over the place. We heard reports today from Mary Kay Cabot saying that there could be a Schwartz-Monken pairing, which our man Stump Mitchell mentioned that when he was on the show a few weeks back, that he said he thinks that would be a pairing that could happen. Basically, essentially, you would have two head coaching candidates on one staff. One obviously would be the main head coach, but you would have two guys who are head coach quality to the Browns' eyes, working together, one running the defense, one running the offense, both collaborating and leading the team. So that's one way you can go. Nate Scheelhasse is another guy, obviously, passing coordinator for the Rams. I went down his resume the other night. He's, was a coach to a lot of position groups in college. He has a lot of leadership experience. He was an offensive coordinator in college, called plays. Has been pretty involved with the Rams out there. I read those quotes the other night from Puka Nacua and Sean McVay about his impact out there with the Rams. And he does have some respect from guys around the league who have some, like Sean McVay, who have some credentials, to say the least. So, Nate Scheelhasse, obviously he would come in here. He'd be the head coach, probably the play caller. My biggest thing with him is what kind of staff would he build out, especially offensively. Would he keep Jim Schwartz? It seems like the Browns, at least some of the rumblings have been, it's Schwartz would stay as DC if Scheelhasse came, and he would be okay with that. And that came out last week. But then there was a report that came out yesterday from Jared Mueller talking about how, referencing basically that some of the holdup of this whole thing could be the Browns, Jimmy Haslam mainly, pretty much Jimmy Haslam isn't, so hell bent on the candidates keeping Jim Schwartz as defensive coordinator. That might be some of the holdup here and what's making guys pull out of the race. But then also we heard the other side of it, though, from Tom Pelissero about it seems like some candidates might have pulled out of the race because of just the whole thing itself, the process itself, where you have to write an essay and all this stuff and just things that the other organizations usually don't do, but the Browns do. Doesn't mean they're dysfunctional. Like he said, they just function differently than 31 other franchises. So this is all over the place. And Todd Monken's still just there. It seemed like I thought Todd Monken was more just a guy to interview, maybe hire him as offensive coordinator, although it seemed like he was going to the New York Giants with John Harbaugh. It seemed like that was a slam dunk, but here he is just hanging around still hasn't committed to the Giants. Nate Scheelhasse is still out there, has not withdrawn himself. Rumors are flying all over the place tonight because like I said, going in today, I think a lot of people thought we would have a decision this morning, including myself. It didn't happen. I don't know what happened today. I don't know what happened overnight. There's rumors out there right now. This is just pure speculation. I'm just putting out there what I saw on the interweb tonight that allegedly maybe Andrew Berry and Andrew Berry and Jimmy Haslam are kind of, seeing things not the same way, and I know Tony Gross even talked about today on on the radio show and on his show in the afternoon, um, about how it seems like Andrew Berry's Nate Scheelhasse's guy and Jim Schwartz is Jimmy Haslam's guy. And that there's rumors out today maybe Andrew Berry put his foot down today. I don't know. So this is fascinating. They said there was no dysfunction behind the scenes, but here we are. It looks like there's tons of dysfunction still. The process is dysfunctional, to say the least. And the Browns still can't find a head coach. I mean, you had a team in the Buffalo Bills who made it all the way to the divisional round, fire their coach, and still found a way to hire a new guy, Joe Brady, who was already in house, but still found a way to hire a new head coach before the Browns did. I mean, this has been completely dragged out. This is kind of a dangerous game you're playing too, because again, like I've been saying, what makes a great head coach to me, especially a rookie head coach, if it's Nate Scheelhasse or anybody really, even a guy like Jim Schwartz who hasn't been a head coach in a long time, you have to have a great staff around you. The more you wait, the more quality coaching staff candidates and coordinators are not going to be there. So it's like, what are we doing here? Like, again, to me, I've always felt like since day one when they fired Kevin Stefanski, and I listened to Haslam and I listened to Andrew Berry in particular that day on this show live, I just felt like they were people that didn't really have a real plan. That they just kind of let's just see what happens and wherever the wind blows. I mean, they don't seem like I don't feel like there's people in that building that have the know-how of how to really find what a true head coach is and what they need. What fits them. How do they build a culture? How do they find that guy that can finally lead them to the promised land? I just don't think these people, mainly in charge, know what the hell they're looking for. Because here they are. It's like seems like we're back to dysfunction junction, and one guy wants his candidate and the other guy wants his candidate. And I don't know what to think of all this. I mean, what do I want to think of it? It's the same old shit. But then part of me is also like, man, like, you think after all these years, Jimmy Haslam, all the stuff we've been through, all this, like you would finally just get it together. And here we are. It looks like it's just the same old shit, same old dysfunction. And, it's just not for the fans. It's frustrating, very frustrating. I could see where I know there's fans online arguing with each other about who they like. And this ultimately, at the end of the day, I think we're all just in the same boat as like, what the hell's going on? It's so, you know, very fascinating, where this goes, but, let me get this, clip here from Tony Grossi today. Give me 1 second. 1 second here. I'll get it up here in a second, but while I'm getting that together, joining me now is the man, the myth, the legend, the professional fan, Sir Michael Antonis. Mike, what's happening?
Good evening.
Mike, I'm gonna get this clip together real quick from Tony Grossi today. I thought he had a fascinating thing, but just real quick, Mike, your instant reaction. We'll get to the breaking news too from Mary Kay Cabot. Here it is right here. It says the Browns did more work on 3 of their head coaching finals today, and are still working through some things. The 3 are Jim Schwartz, Todd Monken, and Nate Scheelhasse. We could possibly still hear something tonight. Now, this was about a little over an hour ago. So, Mike, your instant reaction to the breaking news.
Well, this breaking news, I mean, it's pretty. It's kind of stating the obvious. I mean, hey, all 3 of them are still in the mix, and we might still hear something this evening. I mean, that's all I'm getting from that. But the whole situation has just been a little drawn out more than it should have. I think the fan base at large wants Scheelhasse to be the head coach, me included. If I think you're right in that Jimmy is probably meddling again more than he should or at all. Like he should really stop doing that. He should realize that after him meddling and trying to pick a head coach, the last 3 times he had a direct influence, it was all bad every time, every single time he meddled. It was bad. It was never good when he picked the coach. So he should probably just let Andrew do his damn job, or it's like, why even have a GM in the first place? And like, Jimmy's just got to realize he doesn't know fucking shit about football. Like, he just has to realize that Jimmy Haslam might love the game so much, and he might be the biggest fan in the world, but he doesn't know anything about football. He's an amazing businessman, you know, multi-billionaire, one of the richest guys on in the country, what have you. But like, the dude does not know how to run a football team. He does not know football. He doesn't know football coaches. And if Andrew Berry, the GM you hired to put your roster in place, to put the staff in place, is saying this is the guy, then that's the guy. And just let that happen. That's the way every other team in the league does it, even though our interview process is different. The chain of command is usually very similar, unless you're the Cowboys. But, like, straight up.
No, I agree. I mean, I agree. You gotta let the people you hire do their job, but that's never been the case here. And it's almost like the Browns, Mike, especially ownership, has always had like this thing where they got to do it their way, right? It's got to be done, I guess, their own particular way. It's like they got to reinvent or do something differently out of the ordinary than everybody else in football and take credit for it. I just feel like there's just too much ego involved with this organization, clearly, going back for many, many years, you know, and well-functioning franchises, Mike, yeah, they have disagreements and stuff, but they're all pretty much aligned. You know what I mean? Like the New England Patriots, Mike Vrabel walks right in there. They're all pretty aligned, I would say so. You can tell by the results. And you just keep going down the list. The Rams, you know what I mean? The Seahawks, the Broncos in some ways. Well, I don't know about the Broncos right now, actually. But, you know, look at the good organizations that are consistently good every year in and year out. You know, they have good they function well. They all have, you know, continuity. You know what I mean? They're all like-minded. And I just feel like here we don't have that. And even the process of hiring the coach that we heard from Palisar, it's just like, come on, man. We got a bunch of people in this organization at the top. I feel bad for whatever coach. Honestly, Mike, I wouldn't any three of these guys, I would advise them not to take the job. Why would
I'm not going to go that far, but
why the hell would you want to coach in this organization? I mean, if you can't do your job as a head coach and have full autonomy, and you're going to listen to these geeks upstairs, and then you got a meddling owner, what's the point? What's so great about that? What, so be scapegoated in 2 years and thrown out of the organization because they have a shitty team again, a shitty result? I mean, it's just not. And this is why we have had people drop out of the race, and it's not because of them. You know what I mean? It's because of it's just not good functioning franchise here. It's the same old shit, like I was saying. And this is earlier, Mike. I'm curious. I thought this was fascinating from Chomps and let's see here, Tony Grossi on his daily report. Chops, excuse me. Here's what they had to say.
And I mean, you kind of already said it, but there's got to be disagreements within the building right now. Like there's no way that they're going to be able to, whoever they pick, they're not going to be able to come out and say this was a unanimous decision. We're not dumb, you know?
Well, listen, the owner assigned GM Andrew Berry as the head of the search committee, the lead guy, the point man. It appears that Berry came back with Nate Scheelhasse as his recommendation. The owner didn't agree with it. So now what do? If you don't trust the guy you put in charge, why did you put him in charge?
Do you think there's any chance that this ends with Andrew Berry no longer being with the organization?
Well, the only reason it's crossed my mind is because this is, to me, it's very similar to what happened in 2018? No, 2014, when the search was led by Joe Banner and Mike Lombardi. They end up choosing Mike Pettin, who at the time was the defense coordinator of a very successful Buffalo Bills team. They chose him, but there was squabbling going on throughout the search between Banner and Lombardi. So they introduced Pettin. I remember it was in the field house. They introduced them, And then like a day later, Haslam was so ticked off at the dysfunction he saw that he fired both Banner and Lombardi. And he elevated Ray Farmer.
I remember that, Mike. Another classic memory in our Browns fandom history. But yeah, that's another thing, Mike. Tony just said exactly what you said. Why would you, if you hired the GM to do his job and you won't let him do his job and pick his coach? What are we doing here? Because just like I said, Mike, if I was these three guys, I wouldn't want to come here. If I'm Andrew Barry, what is he thinking tonight? Because you've seen the rumors online tonight, Mike, that it seems like there might have been some behind the scenes discourse today. I mean, does Andrew Barry even want to walk away? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I hear the full year he had like real autonomy, had a great draft, had a great free agency, continues to be good at contracts. Like, let Andrew Barry do his job. Like, maybe there isn't a decision because maybe Jimmy's coming around. Maybe Andrew's actually talked to him. Andrew's coordinated with Jimmy long enough that I think maybe he knows how he is and knows how to talk to him.
Yeah.
In a way that, like, you know, kind of can get to Jimmy's better angels, if you will. But yeah, Jimmy just needs to understand that he does not know football, like, at all. Like, here, I don't think like this. There are bad things about this search. There are good things. I like that the Browns casted a very wide net of very differing points of view. They interviewed everybody, and they requested interviews with everybody, from varying points of view. They requested defensive guys. They requested offensive guys. They requested up and comers. They requested guys that have been coaches for a while. Like, I like how they did this, the net, if you will. Everybody has differing opinions on like the interview process. Like, for me, I don't have the like biggest problem with like writing an essay and all this other shit. Like, yeah, maybe it's a little weird, but like for me, if you're going to be making tens of millions of dollars a year and being having a job where there are only 32 of those jobs in the world, then like you should be able to write a fucking essay. Like, that's just me.
How come no other organization does it?
I get it. I mean, here, every organization is different. The Browns are different in that situation. That's just the way I see it. That's just my opinion on it. Like, if you're, and that goes back to even an ego thing. Like, if you're a coach and you're not willing to write an essay or do like a little personality test to like possibly make millions of dollars and become a head coach in the most profitable sports league on earth.
But
like,
at the end of the day, you're calling me to come help you.
No, I get that too. But at the end of the day,
Greg Udinski, even, I don't need to put my name in this race. I'll pull my name out, go back to Jacksonville for another year and wait till next year. Like, the Browns need these guys more than they need them. And that's what they got to understand. Like, you can't walk around here like you're just doing everything right. And our way is it's our way or the highway. Well, they didn't work. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I just keep going back to Jimmy Haslam, like everybody else is today. It's just like, bro, it's the same old dysfunction. It's like, here we are again. And he said it there back to 2014. Yeah, I mean, you said it earlier. It just seems like we keep running into the same problem over and over again.
Yeah, Jimmy's just got to get his hand out of the cookie jar, man. He's just got to let it go. Let Andrew Barry do his job.
Come out and say, this is who we are. This is who we are. This is our GM. He's going to pick the guy. This is how they work their processes. They use a little more analytics than everybody else. This is what we're looking for. Head coach, like, just come out and say point blank what you're looking for, who you are. I think they're just trying to like this pissing match and this whole like, like we had the chief strategy officer here for 10 years, and everybody basically was damn near the president he was the president of the organization basically for 10 years, but it was like this hidden like unknown mystery, and now he's left that the truth really come out from the bigger names. So I mean, it's just like, what are we doing here? I mean, Mike, the Buffalo Bills were the divisional round, and they still got a head coach before us.
Right, and here everybody knew who the Bills were going to hire. Like, we're not the only team without a head coach right now, but everybody else, most of the people got their guy. The only teams without a head coach that are currently interviewing, searching, what have you, are us, Las Vegas, and Arizona.
Shout out to Viral Authority. He says, "Yo,
Yo,
Chantel's in the house. Joseph, it's crazy, but Jimmy Haslam got his first Pro Bowl QB under ownership, even though it was default."
I'm pretty sure Baker was a Pro Bowl quarterback under us. What's up, Chantel? And wasn't Derek Anderson? Yeah, Derek Anderson was a Pro Bowl quarterback too.
Not under Haslam though.
Yes. I mean, Jimmy Haslam's on the team since what, 99?
No, 2012. The old guy, that was Lerner. That's
that was Lerner. You're right.
Yeah, that was 2007, 2008.
Yeah, so Baker.
Yeah. What's up, Joe? Browns are forever cheeks. Stefanski and Barry are both bums.
Stefanski's gone, man. Can't haunt us.
B. Skrills, he damn sure doesn't know about basketball either. Talking about the Milwaukee Bucks. What's good, Joseph? Salute, brother. Chantel said, I just read a report that Jimmy wants to keep Schwartz as DC and Nate wants his own DC.
I mean, that's fine. Like, I'm of the mind, and here people might not agree with me. I like Jim Schwartz. I think he's a great DC. Maybe he has the propensity to be a great head coach. I'm somebody who thinks that the new head coach should be a new voice in the room entirely. That's just my opinion. And I understand Schwartz's development's great. I understand he, is a known name and he's done great for us. But like, you got to let the head coach pick his staff. It kind of goes back to like Jimmy's meddling. And let the football guys do the football stuff. If Nate Scheelhasse that's your guy, that's your head coach, and he's like, listen, I like Jim, but I think this dude from the Rams, or maybe he knows somebody, and because the McVay and Shanahan's coaching staffs are so intertwined and they talk so often. Maybe he knows someone on the Niners or something that he wants to bring over, and that can maybe that expands what our defense can do, because our defense, as good as it is, our personnel really does cover up for a lot.
You know what he would want, Mike? People he trusts and continuity.
Right.
And that's what you should want as a head coach.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with him wanting to bring in his own guys. That's what normal head coaches do that.
Baker was not a Pro Bowler. He was a Pro Bowler in Tampa, not Cleveland. Maybe he was an alternate. What if the Browns are now waiting for someone? What if the Browns are now waiting for someone from one of the teams in the Super Bowl? Hire Schwartz, says Michael Klein. I think it's too far down the road, Mike, for them to throw anybody else in the.
They would have at least. They would have at least.
That's where it's coming down to.
Yeah, they would have at least you would have heard about a requested interview if there was anybody in the Super Bowl they were interested in. But.
No, but going back to that, though, I mean, here, I agree with that. If you're going to hire a head coach, you got to let the guy you hire do his job and pick his own staff. You hired him to be the head coach. That means he needs to be in charge of leading a whole organization of men, of football players, and his own staff. Like, he's the leader. Let him pick his own people. Let him do his own thing. Here, I love Jim Schwartz. I think Jim Schwartz has been one of the best hires this organization's made in my lifetime since '99. That defense before he got here was underperforming. He came in here and really developed guys, helped Grant Delpit level up, help a guy like JOK level up. You see what he's doing a lot of the rookies. Myles Garrett broke the single season sack record under Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz, has done a hell of a job. He's a great leader. I think he's a good dude. And I love Jim Schwartz. I think, would I prefer to keep him here? Would I like if Nate Scheelhasse came in and they can get on the same page? Maybe they could. And say, hey, we can work together. Let's do this. Hell yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
But, and I think the players would like that because nobody knows those players more than Jim Schwartz. He's been here through a lot, since the last time they were in a playoff run and just all the fire, the change and turnover. He's seen it all. And I'm sure he has his own opinion on it, but on what he would do and what things they should do differently. But, at the end of the day, if you're hiring Nate Scheelhaase to be your head coach, then you got to let him. You got to give somebody full autonomy eventually. I can criticize Kevin about a lot of things, which we did, but one thing Kevin never had was full autonomy, and that's bullshit for your head coach. you can't function properly and have the long-term success you want when you don't have that. Like, dude, you hired this guy to be the leader of the franchise. He's the head coach. That means he needs to make the final decisions on the field of what he's doing. And I think the problem now, really just in football in general, especially pro football, I think the problem now is too, a lot of these GMs have more power than the coaches now, and it used to not be that way. And I think that's a problem in itself too. But that's a whole nother thing. But that's kind of been what's been going on here, and not with Barry, more so with somebody that was above Barry for a while who hired him. And so I think Jimmy Hauser for once needs to finally, just let it be. Like you said, Mike, if that's who Andrew Barry wants, then he should hire him. That's what you paid him to do. And if Nate Scheelhasse desires to do whatever with his staff, then you allow him, and you let the guys you pay do their job. Because when you try to meddle in constantly and control, it's either one of two things to me. A, you want to take all the credit for if they have success, or B, you don't really trust the people you hired, which that's not good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not good at all. I mean, Mike, imagine if my dad, the dealership when he hired all you guys, if he acted like that with all the car, he had to go sit right by you at every car deal and listen to everything you're saying and to chime in. I mean, I'll say, like, you would be like, dude, you don't trust me. You know what I mean? Like, a manager or somebody who runs an they got to let your people you hire go. Let the you know what I mean? Let them go. Let the dogs loose. But I don't know. Gordon Will says get Schwartz and get a list of coordinators. Let Scheelhasse go. Let's move on with sign Schwartz and use that energy on offense on an OC. Teflon says I don't want trust Barry to draft anyone. One decent draft out of 8 doesn't make me trust that slob.
Jesus.
Chantel Marie says, Joseph, I just read on X that Nate as head coach from Jarrett Buell will be announced tonight or tomorrow.
Oh, see if you can find that tweet.
I will pull that up in a second.
Mike is a good source. That's pretty much a.
Well, and he was the one that put out the one yesterday. Mike, let's put this up real quick while I get this update up here. Thank you, Chantel, for putting that in the chat for me.
Yeah, thank you, Chantel.
So here is this, Mike, from earlier today from Albert Breer. This is the latest from him. This is around 5-6 o'clock.
Search.
Yeah, I think that they're sort of regrouping and huddling now, and I don't know if there's any big rush. I think the decision could come in 5 minutes. It might not come till tomorrow. We'll see. But I think that they feel like looking at who they're looking at. I mean, there's not competition for the guys that they're considering right now. So, at this point, it's just let's do all of our homework and see where we're at and come out with a decision. And so, whether this winds up being Jim Schwartz, who, I think has been sort of the leader in the clubhouse all along, Nathan Scheelhasse with Schwartz as the DC, Todd Monken still an outside possibility. There's a reason why he hasn't joined John Harbaugh's staff in New York yet. I think that they're trying to be as thorough as they possibly can with this. And, it's interesting digging into some of the stuff that, my buddy Tom Pelissero said last week on Rich's show. I kind of I will say, I have respect for the level of digging that they're trying to do on all of this. And they're at least making an attempt to, have an original thought with whoever the hire is and go through an original process and do things in a way that maybe gives them the best chance to get this one right.
How do people across the league?
So that's that, Mike. So, Mike, that's that. I haven't found that yet, Chantel. I haven't found that. If you wouldn't mind, tell me where that's at exactly, and I'll find it. But Mike, your reaction there, what Albert Breer said, I thought that was interesting when he said there earlier. He said Schwartz has kind of been in the lead all along with Scheelhasse and Monken right there behind him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe that. I don't believe that part. I don't know that they would have casted this wide of a net. If they knew that Schwartz was going to be a guy ahead of time, why didn't they just let Stefanski go? Yeah, I don't think that's real. Now, I kind of, he made a good point of like, maybe we're looking into it too much, but maybe there's more to it. Maybe it is them just powwowing a little bit more because he made a good point. The three guys they're considering, there isn't any interest from other teams on those guys. Scheelhasse had his interview with the Bills, but they ultimately went in-house with Joe Brady. She said, how do I send it to you?
I put it in the chat. That's one option. If you can't do that, then I don't know. Or maybe just put the link, copy and paste the link, put it in the chat, and I can see if I can paste it onto my screen. Copy and paste it, I mean. But yeah, Mike, I thought that was interesting what he said there. But I'm with you though. Like if Schwartz was your guy all along, why didn't you just hire him from the jump? Like,
yeah,
what was the point of all this? Because now, like I said, they're at a risk right now of losing quality coaching staff candidates because you waited so long. Like other teams are already filling out their staffs and stuff. Like we should already be, on top of that. Like what if Jim Schwartz was hired already 3 weeks ago, Mike? And what if maybe he had a good relationship with Bill Callahan? Maybe we would have brought him back. It might have been a slim chance because I don't know what his relationship was with the upper management stuff. I don't know if it's good, but still, you never know. Like, what I mean? Like you got to give yourself that option to get the best guys. Like, what are we doing here? Even with with Nate Scheelhasse, I'm curious to see if he gets hired. Like, what's that staff going to look like? Because man, he's late in the game now. I mean, is it going to be a bunch of first-time coordinators? Even like, I don't know if that's what you want with your first-time head coach either. Because I want somebody with some experience. Sean McVay walked into Wade Phillips with him as DC, and he leaned on Wade Phillips, who was a former head. It was kind of like Jim Schwartz in some ways. So that's important. Like you have to have that to lean on. Like you can't just throw a guy out there with silly, with just willy nilly with no experienced guys around to lean on. He's not going to know what to do in those situations.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree with that. I mean, I think he's fine with having Jim Schwartz as DC. That report was already released. Maybe it's more of Jim is like trying to play hardball a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like where else it's going to sound bad, but like, I don't think there's any other teams with DC vacancies right now. Like where else is he gonna, the two openings really left are like, Las Vegas and Arizona. Like, is he, both of those are,
I think there's a team out there that maybe is kind of like, would think about firing their guy currently to add him. Yeah, I think he'd get a job. But you're right. I mean, right now there's no real. I've seen the San Francisco rumor. I don't buy that. I don't think that would actually fit, personally. Right. But here's this. I found this is fascinating, Mike. So before we went live, Scheelhasse had the lead over Monken. Now Monken has the lead, Mike, 51% to 45%.
That's crazy. I think we'd all crash out if that happened.
This is. Mike, I've never in my life, I've seen a lot of things when LeBron was making his decisions, right? I've seen a lot of other things like the Watson thing that week when they were trying to trade for him. We've seen a lot of different things we've covered here on the show. I've never seen anything like this where it seems like you feel like it's going one way and it swings right back the other. And there's 20 different, it seems like there's just 2 different agendas going on in the build. I mean, this is unbelievable. This is unbelievable, Mike. I don't know. What's your reaction there, Mike, with Todd Monken now?
I'd be livid.
Mike's gonna crash out?
No, this fucking stupid, pointless bullshit. Why would we ever hire Todd Monken as a head coach? There's nothing good about that. He's like, why don't we just hire Greg Roman as a head coach? Or fucking who else runs just the most pedantic, silly little playground offense? Like, yeah, it looked good in Baltimore. Baltimore also has Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson. Like, you don't need to run the world's most spectacular offense to make that work. I could call plays for the Ravens. Like, what are we doing? What is this? I really hope there are no insiders involved in Kalshi, it's just a bunch of bettors.
Well, here's
I
this
don't-
one, Mike. This just came out 2 minutes ago on X from SC. You look at the bottom there, Mike. Look who has a 4% now in the race.
Sean McDermott.
Sean McDermott.
He said he's taking a year off. That one's somebody put $100 on a Hail Mary bet.
Probably. But I find it, I mean, wow, Todd Monken now in the lead. I mean, this is unbelievable. This is fascinating, folks. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. Mike, we've never covered something like this.
No,
I mean,
I really
you
don't.
got an inkling of like what's going to happen, but like everybody thought this morning there was going to be an announcement. A lot of people did. And then we get up and there's like nothing going on. And it seems like now there's all this other shit going on all day. So I don't know.
Dog,
What's that?
if it's Todd Monken, dog, I might just boycott. I'm gonna
You're
cover
out.
the draft. I'm gonna get excited for the draft, and then I'm just gonna like going off and shipping off with the merchant marines. I'm just gonna like watch from afar and send letters. I'm not gonna watch a down. Oh my god, if it's Todd Monken. God made me be born in Cleveland, bro. He put me in this town. I could have been born in Wisconsin.
So let's see here. The latest I see, Chantel, I'm on Dogs by Nature. I didn't see anything on his X. Okay, so let me get this up here right here. All right, I see something now. Give me 1 sec. I see what you're saying now, Chantel. So this is from Jared Mueller, Mike. I know you know from Dogs by Nature. So right here, we'll read this down. You see that, Mike? Should I zoom in a little bit?
Hey, I was doing a minute a little bit.
Is that better right there? There we go. All right, so here's what happened earlier, what he said in his chat. It's like a forum here on Dogs by Nature. It says, quote, working on a deal this afternoon. Okay, so let's go back up here and read this. So he put this out. He says, Tuesday afternoon, what is the holdup? Question mark. I'm hearing that talks continue, including important phone calls. At lunch, the word was things were split. No answer as we come up upon the 4 p.m. hour. Has led to much speculation that Nate Scheelhasse is the favorite. The issue is, while that would probably be the decision at this moment, things can change quickly on either side. Around the league, the general belief is Nate is the Great is the pick. Quote, if you want to bet him, kind of thing. And then it says whose house? Nate's house. But then down here it says, quote, working on a deal this afternoon, but again, anything could change. Anything can happen, until the ink dries. Then somebody said, if they are working on a deal, is it with Scheelhasse? He said yes. And then they want to say, with all due respect, Jared, you're going to be eating your own words when Schwartz is named head coach. Scheelhasse overplayed his hand last night and hasn't called his bluff. And then Jared said down here, cool, we'll do so. If so, I can only share what I've had communicated to me. So yeah, I don't see anything else. But Mike, he's saying it seems like it's still from people around the league. And obviously, if I had to bet, Mike, and this is just me speculating, obviously the Senior Bowl started off today, so a lot of people in the NFL are down in one spot right now. I'm sure there's some words traveling around there at the Senior Bowl. Maybe that's where it's coming from, Mike. What's your thoughts on all this with Jared Mueller?
There could be words around the Senior Bowl. I'm really hoping it's Scheelhasse, man. That's my pick. You know, I don't know when he posted that, but a little shocking that no deal has been done yet. Maybe they're still trying to work out some kinks. I don't know. I just want it to be over.
Yeah, no shit, man. Jeez Louise. My gosh, this is like I keep saying, this just keeps going
4
on
hours
and on and
ago.
on.
Okay, so relatively recently.
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of different things, Mike, all over the place tonight. I see this. Oh, okay. Let's look at this right here, Mike. He reposted this on his X a little bit ago. Jared Mueller did. and I saw this today. It's from Memes. It says, "Pardon my meme." And they put Nathan Scheelhasse will be named head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Sources tell Memes that they are close to the situation. They are working on a few things, but expected an announcement later today or tomorrow morning. I'm going to be honest, Mike. I don't know if I buy that. Not saying they're not right, but because I heard the same thing yesterday with Jim Schwartz.
Yeah.
So I don't know where to believe. It seems like everybody has a source now, and it's going this way and going that way. But quite frankly, Mike, I don't think anybody knows what the fuck's going on. As far as my
That's
friend.
fair. I hope this is the outcome, though. I will be jumping up and down at work.
You could do backflips and everything.
I can't do a backflip, but I'll attempt one.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree in terms of I'd love to see that. You know, I'd pay to see that. But so here we go, Mike. We're down to 3 candidates. That's the latest, folks. We got. I mean, I don't know any updates so far, Mike, in the last 10 minutes since we've been up here.
Not that I've seen.
I haven't seen anything either. I appreciate that shed tell for that. Let's see now. Let me refresh this things in the okay, Mike. So now Nathan Scheelhasse has taken the lead by 3%.
He's gonna keep taking the lead. Whose house?
Nate's house.
Dude, I'm gonna make a shirt, dude. That's such a good shirt. Whose house? Yeah, that's a great shirt, dude.
Oh, Mike, I think we got a WWE wrestler called in. Yeah, that guy. You want to answer it, Mike? Or I'll answer, Mike. You there?
I can't do it now. My voice hurts, bro.
Oh, you motherfucker! No.
I can't. If I would have known I was doing Macho Man, I would have gotten the T.
What does Macho Man think of this search, Mike? Come on.
It's whooping away. Yeah.
Hey, Macho Man, I gotta ask you, who do you like here for the Browns? Coach.
The Browns find themselves in a situation they'd rather not be in. Yeah. They're looking for a head coach. Yeah. Head coach to coach the dog pound. Yeah. Cold lakefront. New dome. $6 billion. Yeah.
Who do you like as head coach?
We like the house. Yeah, the house always wins. That's what they want to tell the Macho Man. Yeah, because the cream always rises to the top, and the house is the cream of the crop. Yeah. That's all I can got. That's all I got tonight.
You, Macho Man. Shout out to Macho Man. Where are we at?
Thank you. Thank you for the pity applause.
Yeah. But man. Well, I mean, I don't know, folks. We're just sitting around and wait now until there's an announcement like everybody else. That's it. That's what I was talking about. Yeah, I appreciate that shit. Watch Nate Shador win a championship in Cleveland. That would be epic.
It would be. I'd cry.
It would be epic. Now what's Nate? If Nate is the guy, whoever the guy is, I'm curious what their plan's going to be at quarterback because they may have a different plan. If they're allowed to choose their own person, we'll find that out too. But that's one thing that we all agree. Mike, you and I definitely like just give your people autonomy and do the job, bro.
Yeah, just let them do their job, please.
But yeah, here we are, folks. We're down to the final hours here. I think Mike probably by tomorrow. I don't want to say tomorrow morning, tonight, or I just want to say by tomorrow. I think we'll know who it's going to be. Right? It's going to be either Nate Scheelhasse or I think if Monken gets hired, I think Schwartz stays. I think Monken and Schwartz are a pairing. If Monken's the head coach, I think that's a pairing. Now, if Schwartz is the head coach, I don't know if Todd Monken Mike would be here as OC because he could probably go back to the Giants unless the Browns paid him more. I maybe see a guy like Anthony Lynn possibly, or
I like Anthony Lynn.
I like Anthony Lynn, the guy. I love Anthony Lynn, the person. Great human being. I think he's actually a good coach. Great coach. But,
great run game coordinator. He'd fix that run game.
I may bring him here regardless, honestly, just for that reason. No matter who's hired, I'd be like, hey, man, I recommend hiring him. It's just a great dude. But so I don't know, Mike. I mean, maybe Schwartz has somebody else in mind. I don't know. In the end, though, Mike, Where do you think this goes?
You know what? The fact that it's taken this long, and the fact that Jimmy hasn't just named Jim Schwartz the coach, or Monken for that matter, I'm going to say it's Nate Scheelhasse. I think the house wins in the end. I think it's taken this long. Maybe they're working out some kinks. I really do think it's going to end up being Nathaniel Scheelhasse as the next coach of the Cleveland Football Browns.
Mike, it just shifted again.
Yeah.
Todd Monken is now 60%. Scheelhasse is 45%.
I don't know
This is
why
fascinating.
This is just betting.
This is fascinating. I don't know. I mean, I really don't know where this is going. You guys put in the chat right now. Who do you think in the end is going to be? What's your final prediction? I think by tomorrow, maybe by the time we get off this live, but I'm going to say by tomorrow, who do you think will be the guy? Mike says Nate Scheelhasse.
Oh, manifesting it.
Man. Mike, I don't know. This is one of the usually, Mike, I got an answer. But this is here's what I'll say. I felt like Jim Schwartz would have been hired by today. Now that he hasn't, makes me wonder something else happened behind the scenes today. And I think Andrew Berry put his foot down. Right. And I think Jimmy Haslam is deciding right now, tonight, probably since the afternoon, what he really wants the future of this franchise to look like. That's what I really think's going on. Where that goes, I think if Barry and Haslam can stick together and say, we're sticking with the plan, Andrew, we're sticking with your plan, you're the guy, I think Scheelhasse gets hired. If it goes the other way, Mike, I think you may see resignation tomorrow. And that's just pure speculation on my part. I'm not saying Andrew Berry's going to resign, but just like Tony Grossi said earlier, he was wondering that as well. I think that's a fair assessment. You know what I mean? And it's not because it's just, look, we've seen this before, this ownership, Mike, back in 2014. You know what I mean? We saw it in 1920 when they fired Freddie. John Dorsey initially was safe till he wasn't. And so we've seen this before. And would I blame Andrew Berry? No, I wouldn't blame him if he walked away, because at the end of the day, hey man, I'm the general manager. You're supposed to let me pick who I want. You know what I mean? Like you said, you know what I mean? So I don't know where this is going to go. I really don't. I think right now it's 50-50. I know that's that's a piss poor, but I really think it's 50-50. This can go either way. And I think whatever way it goes, or like I said, there could be either more that happens after this, which could put the Browns in an even deeper hole, or the Browns are going to be fighting somebody else above the head coach, or this could just be, Barry gets what he wants with Scheelhasse, which I believe that's where he's leaning, and Jim Schwartz may or may not be here. Maybe Scheelhasse brings his own staff, or maybe he has people in mind. I don't know. But this is we're going to know something by tomorrow night, Mike.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will.
When it happens, we're going to be reacting to it live right here on the show. Let's see. Detroit Gemini says, I don't know. It seems that Schwartz will be the guy. All reports saying he is leading. And I've seen that, Detroit. Detroit Gemini, I've seen that. I mean, Albert Breer said it seemed like he was been the guy all along. So I don't know. I don't know. I read that on Rap Sheet. Somebody tagged it. Yeah. I think that might be going on behind the scenes. Nate Scheelhasse has 2 years of NFL experience. What is attractive? The McVay tree. He's 2 years of NFL experience. He does have a lot of quality coaching experience in college. He ran a lot of position groups, wide receivers coach, running backs coach, I believe, quarterback coach. And he became an OC and called plays. And then he's been pretty involved out there with the Rams. I mean, I read some quotes the other night about what Puka Nacua said about him, how involved he is, and Sean McVay's talked about how involved he is, and he helps McVay design plays, and he works with the quarterbacks hands-on. You've seen him out there pretty involved, even yelling out stuff on the field, commanding stuff in some of these playoff games. So I think he's a guy who could be qualified right now to go do it. Some people may say it's a reach. I think the only way it works though, it's got to be in the right situation. Like he's got to be in a situation where he has good structure around him, good staff of experienced people he can lean on because he's going to need that. And obviously, him and the GM have to be aligned, and there's none of this like, where the GM's trying to tell him how to coach the team basically, and then he's trying to tell the GM you need to do this. Whereas like guys know their roles and you trust each other in doing so, and there's collaboration in that.
Right.
So good structure, and the owner just sit there and watch and just pay the bills we needed paid. So and I think he'll have a good quarterback development. He does have a good quarterback developing background. I think just from the people he's been around and just the experience. He is a former quarterback. I think that he'll be pretty good in that area, just from the research I've done on him. Now it's got to be proven. I get that. So there's a lot of question marks there, but I'm fine with Scheelhasse, Mike. I like Scheelhasse more than Udinski personally. I said that all along, but I don't know. Do you think they are fooling us? That could be the case.
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. They're just trying to, just keep
I do too.
pins and needles. I think Nate will be great for the future. I think he could be a really good coach, Mike. I think if it hits,
I really do.
if you nail the hire, I think it'd be a slam dunk if it works.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'll be curious to see whoever they hire, what the quarterback future is going to be, and what they, because a coach may have a different opinion, and so that's gonna be a whole other thing too. I don't know. But before we get out of here, Mike, so right now it's still 40% Todd Monken, 45% Nate Scheelhasse, 22% Jim Schwartz. So yeah. Mike, we'll be live when it happens tomorrow. Need to like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah, folks, please like, subscribe, and share. Stay tuned for all of the Browns news coming. My show is going to be back in full force with the Senior Bowl and draft. Haven't really dug deep into the Senior Bowl stuff as of yet. Going to be doing that shortly. The Browns coaching news obviously has taken precedence, so we've just been overseeing that. But yeah.
Shout out to Sports Fanatics at Schwartz, Coach Belichick, and Saban. He's the best choice. That's what Schwartz Fanatics choice is. Shout out to you, brother. Chantel says good night, guys. Good night, Chantel. Good to see you as always.
Night.
Appreciate the insight. Sharing us some of the insight of the reports tonight. Keeping us up to date as we were live. So shout out to Chantel. And yeah, like, subscribe, share all the good stuff. I'm saluting up out of here. Mike, what are you doing?
About to throw myself in friggin' the lake, dude.
Just had it. You just can't take it anymore.
Gonna jump in the Lake Erie into its frozen depths like the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Go.